What did you say? 326 days of sunshine on the Costa del Sol every year. Then what on earth do the other 39 days look like? Watch this video and you'll find out. This is the very heart of Marbella. Behind me is the Puente Romano, some of the most expensive real estate on the Costa del Sol. We're in the winter. Just look at this weather. Later on, this beach club will be rammed with people, dancing, eating, enjoying the sunshine. And we're in January. And believe it or not, we do have rain and we do have clouds. And it's important, if you're thinking of relocating, that you know what it's like here in the winter. It's just as lovely, but you have to know how to make the most of it. I brought you here to this beach this morning to illustrate a little bit about what the winter is like in the Costa del Sol. We're on a beach called Playa del Cable, and this beach is actually on the southern edge of Marbella town, and it's just at the bottom of the industrial area, what we call the Polygono. Here there are many car showrooms, workshops, warehouses, all sorts of industrial stuff. I always laugh about it because for me it's the only industrial estate that I know which has got such wonderful sea views. But it's continued down here with this kind of cool industrial chic. There are even a couple of properties up here which have been converted into really lovely attic loft apartments. Behind me, just here with the palm trees, is a very chic retro beach club called Playa Padre, which is very, very busy. You have to go there. It's not cheap, but it's worth the experience. Now, it's really nice to tell you a little bit of history about this particular beach and about this structure out in the water. This was originally a platform with cables that was utilized by the iron industry. Cables would bring from the Ochen Mountains, pulleys, cable cars would bring iron ore out of the mountains and bring it down to this platform to be loaded onto ships, to be taken away, to be smelted and made into metal. Now, you would have imagined, as most of these platforms were taken away after they came out of use, but this one has been kept there, and it really is quite iconic. And moreover, interestingly, at the bottom of it, underneath the water, there is actually a diving reef, if you like, a man-made reef, where the local divers go to train or just to enjoy. And there are some very interesting objects down there. I'm even told that there is a statue of Mary Magdalene down there. I don't know how true that is, but allegedly it came off some ship some many years ago. I've never been down there myself, but it's another lovely thing that you can do when the waters give you the access. I have one follower who watches all of my videos, and if ever I wear a heavy coat, this person sends me a message and says, you really shouldn't wear those clothes when you're selling the Costa del Sol. You have to wear summer clothes because you're selling the dream. Well, this is the reality. Sometimes you do need a coat. And here I am showing you that it can be quite cool in Spain, to the point where you would come out with a coat like this, but always with the layers underneath, because later on it probably will warm up. So there are so many reasons why the Costa del Sol is just as good in the winter. And this has to be my very favourite one. It's because with the winter, with the rain, with the cooler weather, comes a plethora of fruit and vegetables that you don't see in the summer because it's just too dry. This is by far the best time to come to this organic market and buy the root vegetables and the cauliflowers and the cabbages and the sweet potatoes, all of those vegetables that grow so well in the winter here in the Costa del Sol. You are in heaven if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. Of course, anybody who likes fruit and vegetables, anybody who wants to live a healthy lifestyle, this is the place to come. You can buy vegetables here which will last so much longer than the fruit and vegetables you buy in a supermarket. And there's a very good reason for that. Everything you see here is produced within around, let's say, 50, 60 kilometres of where we are now. It is not transported over long distances in the back of refrigerated, articulated lorries. It is not stored in warehouses. It is not packaged in plastic packaging. This is all straight from the local farms, in the truck, down to the local markets, Bob's your uncle. Here it is. And every other Saturday here in Elveria, this market comes, and this market also goes to other locations along the Costa del Sol on the various Saturdays and Sundays of each month. So it really is a wonderful place. I cannot recommend it highly enough, and once you've found it, you won't want to buy fruit and vegetables anywhere else. So here's a really good example of a fruit that is harvested in the winter. This is granados, the pomegranate in English, and its beautiful succulent seeds obviously can only be eaten fresh in the winter. But I only wish that you could smell through the camera what I can smell, because this whole array of fruit and vegetables is giving off such wonderful odours of nutrition, enzymes, vitamins. It is absolutely delightful. Everything here fresh, nothing really that you wouldn't want to just devour, and all absolutely organic. And don't think it is just fruit and vegetables, because it's not. It's also nuts, pulses, oats, rye, barley. Every single thing that you need for healthy living can be bought in this market. It really is that good. All sorts of different flours. They have garbanzo flour, which is chickpea flour, bulgur wheat, avena, raw sugar, and then of course all the spices. Don't forget the turmeric, the ginger, the cayenne, everything you need. It's delightful. And so to those people who complain about the rain and the grey skies, and trust me, there are a lot of you out there in the Costa del Sol. Oh my God, the weather's so terrible, it's raining. Don't worry about the rain. If there's one thing the rain gives, which makes it so worthwhile, it's this: the absolute fabulous array of vegetables and fruit, which you won't get in any place elsewhere other than the Costa del Sol because of this climate. And to have this, we have to have rain, am I right? Now look at this, look how busy this is. It's January the 3rd. You may well think that this is the January sales, but it's not. This is all about something called the Three Kings, which actually takes place on the 5th of January. And it's when the Spanish really celebrate Christmas. The 24th of December for the Spanish is something called the Noche Buena. That's a family night where they have a meal together. But the Three Kings is the real day, the evening of the Three Kings on the 5th. That's when the kids get their presents. And that's why this shopping centre is still so crowded with people getting ready for the Three Kings. And so imagine you're a child and you come to live in the Costa del Sol. You have your family Christmas on the 24th, the 25th of December, as is normal. And then you land in a country where all of a sudden Christmas is celebrated for the Spanish on the 5th and 6th of January. So as a child, you essentially get two Christmases with New Year in between. It's a whole fortnight of just fun, presents and merriment. That's a real bonus for kids living in the Costa del Sol. They get all of that time off school and they get many different ways to celebrate the season. 5th of January 2026. We should feel very honoured that the Three Kings have come to our town. In Spain, the Three Kings are the traditional bringers of the Christmas gifts, celebrated during the Feast of the Epiphany. Of course, Father Christmas has gained popularity in Spain, but nevertheless, Los Tres Reyes remain the most important holiday for the Spanish children. The Three Kings are comprised of Melchor, Gaspar and Balthazar, and the parade on the evening of the January the 5th is carried out in every city and town. It is a massive event for the Spanish, and we're here in Marbella just at the very beginning. The kings have arrived, they've climbed up onto their float, and soon the procession will begin. This evening, the 5th of January, the night of the 5th of January, children will leave their shoes by the window or under the tree. They often leave water and grass or carrots for the king's camels to eat. Gifts are discovered the following morning, that is tomorrow morning, January the 6th, which is always a holiday, and which is why the Christmas festivities in Spain run from maybe the 19th or the 20th of December, right up until the 7th of January. Long, long holidays encompassing Christmas, the New Year, and the Tres Reyes, the most important of all. Now, one thing that is important to know is that when it rains here, it rains heavily, and it could rain heavily non-stop even for a couple of days. And during that time, an immense amount of water is deposited on the hard, baked earth of Andalusia, because we spend so many months with it very, very hot. We have to know that. And so the water rolls down from the mountains and is deposited at the bottom of the coast, trying to find its way out to the sea. Now, we do find that many of the carriageways, roads, little pathways and so on are not really designed for this amount of water. And often you'll find that roads, bypasses, thoroughfares are cut off because of this deposit of water, in which case you have to be super careful. And even at times you'll find that the roads are diverted by the authorities. Let me show you now. Just look at this water cascading from the mountains. It's bright orange because it's full of the copper-filled soil that has come from the mountains. It's really very impressive, but it's dangerous, of course it is. Look how it gushes through over here. Sometimes you'll even see sheep or other dead animals being carried along in it. Now, this particular access point, which leads down to the beach in Alveria, was up until this year always able to be accessed, and there were times where cars would try and come past this or come through this, and of course it didn't end well. Now the authorities have at least installed a barrier, which you'll see just up there, which cuts this road off when the rain like this falls, and a very good job it is too that they do that. The truth is that we are so spoilt with great weather here that when it becomes dark and cloudy and it rains a lot, it's actually wonderful. You really do look forward to it. One of my favourite things to do when it's dark and cloudy and rainy is to come to the gym, and sometimes, quite often, it's warm enough that you can actually train in the exterior part or the interior part of this phenomenal gym. Come on, I'm going to show you. Come on. The whole point of being in an area like the Costa del Sol is that there is an emphasis on healthy outdoor living. Many, many people here are involved in sports of all sorts of types and activities, and that's the key to leading the kind of lifestyle that we all want so much here. This is a gym that I frequent. It's got everything in this gym, and it really is so inspiring to come in here and be amongst like-minded people who also want to be healthy, eat well, and enjoy the fresh airs, even when it's raining. There are a lot of different sorts of healthy activities that we can do, not just like coming to the gym or playing a racket sport, for example, but even just going up in the mountains or walking on the beach. This is the emphasis of this lifestyle. In this particular gym, there's everything that you want. And on a day like this, it's nearly 7 o'clock in the evening, the skies are dark, it's probably going to rain soon, but it's so delightful. The climate is so lovely. Even now in the winter, it's warm enough to actually train outside, and sometimes in the rain. That's really exhilarating. When I talk about the importance of this kind of lifestyle, I become quite evangelical, because I remember 25 years ago, I lived in the United Kingdom, and so often I think to myself, what would I be doing if I still lived in England now? What would I be doing at this time in the evening? I certainly wouldn't be under the open skies, even when it's about to rain, training in the gym, playing sports with other people. And this is crucial. This is one reason, a huge reason, why so many people do gravitate towards this part of the Costa del Sol, this part of Europe. And that is because the interaction of sports allows the social interaction of people. And that's one of the things that we've been losing more and more in many cultures in Northern Europe. People don't really interact that much anymore. They stay indoors, it's too cold, they're worried about going out, their children can't play in the streets. There's no freedom. Here, it's not like that. We still have the most valuable of all assets, and that is the ability to actually be free in a healthy environment and just enjoy our lives. And when the rain comes, these bodies of water of course benefit, whether it be the huge lake in Istan, which is providing water coming down into Marbella, or a natural reservoir such as this one, which is El Lago de las Tortugas. These bodies of water need to be refilled, and the creatures that live within and around these lakes of course benefit greatly. There are ducks and geese and turtles that live on this water. Certain fish even live in here, and of course many frogs. If you come on a late summer evening, you can hear them. So another reason why rain should actually be welcomed here in Marbella. I had no option but to bring you here this morning, the morning after the night before, to show you that every cloud has a silver lining. All of that torrential rain, the dark skies that we've had for so many days, is now bringing us this incredible gift, a huge amount of water which is still gushing from the Andalusian Sierras down towards the coast. This particular body of water is in Istan. It's the Reservoir La Concepcion, and it is very significant for Marbella and the surrounding area, providing a lot of water for the population down there. But this red water that you can see behind me is full of the copper that's coming down from the mountains, and hence its colour. And it's so rare to see the reservoir this full. It's a real joy. If you've lived here for a long time, you know that this is a very, very good sign. And we're only in the beginning of January. Let's hope there's more rain to come. And actually, as I came here to make this video, I walked through the village of Istan, which is just behind me here, and I could hear all around me gushing water from valleys, tributaries, little gullies, everywhere around me. The sound of water bringing life to the Costa del Sol. All of these trees and plants are just thriving now, and the birds are singing. It's wonderful. This is exactly what we need. And that's why when it rains in Spain, we mustn't think of it as pain. We must think of it as a really good thing. The sunshine after the rain, as Elkie Brooks said. And no overview of the Costa del Sol in winter can be complete without mentioning this. Imagine you wake up in Marbella next to the beach. You eat breakfast, you jump in your car and travel for 2 hours until you reach the city of Granada, where you climb the slopes of the mountains and arrive in the Sierra Nevada ski resort. A resort with over 120 kilometers of pistes for all ages and abilities. The skiing here is very good. The snowboarding is exceptional. The views are to die for. It really is a wonderful benefit to be able to reach this place within 2 hours. And you can then choose to either spend the night in one of the local hotels or guest houses in the town, or alternatively, you can get in your car and drive back to Marbella and be in bed by 10 o'clock. What more could you want? So you might have the feeling that this video is jumping all over the place, because one day it's cloudy, one day it's raining, and another day it's really sunny. But trust me, that is what the winter in the Costa del Sol is like. I've been here for 25 years and I've seen everything on this coast, and every single day, whatever the weather, it never fails to impress. If you're looking to move to this coast, come and speak to me, because I've got a ton of experience and I can tell you exactly the right location which is going to suit you and your family.